My childhood, I would have to say I was quite literally the greatest hide-and-seek player just about ever. I would hide in places that nobody else would be able to find, and I was good. I mean, really, really good. I was the greatest hide-and-seek player ever. I would hide places people would not be able to find me for hours on end. I was so good that kids eventually just stopped looking for me. They stopped playing with me in general, and I would just hide all the time. I would hide in large crowds. I would hide in tiny spaces. I would hide wherever I could physically fit myself. And I was good. I was the best. Hands down. It was 1984 in Kenosha, Wisconsin, and I was just entered in the local county hide and seek contest. And after 6 whole days of not being able to find me, I was finally located by an employee of the National Hide and Seek Association, the NHSA, and he approached me with a sponsorship and a contract to get into at first amateur level hiding. You know, I was in the minors for a little bit, but then after a really good performance, the American hide and seek team, the anchor of the team, goes down with an injury. I get called up. Rest is absolute history. I was untouchable. We all know the story. I did a bunch of tours on the American circuit, went over international, hit over internationally. My best work, I would have to say, hiding physically inside the Berlin Wall. I'm proud of that one. My idols growing up, oh man. Elvis Presley. That guy did a number on everyone. Just disappeared. And people still see him, but he is so good at hiding that nobody believes them. Amelia Earhart flew over the Atlantic Ocean, Bermuda Triangle, disappeared. She's still in hiding. Nobody's seen her since. Same with Bobby Fischer. Poof. I mean, granted, when I hide, I go hang out with them. They have welcomed me into their circle. And it's just hiding with people like that. You know, Bigfoot and the Loch Ness Monster as well. They are just phenomenal hiders. I also love Bob Hope. He's a funny guy. The biggest misconception I've found over my entire career is people walking up to me going, you know, "Hey Waldo, how's it going?" Waldo is actually my last name. My first name is Wares. It's shortened from Wersilius. It's Latin for he who hides. My parents named me that when they literally could not find me in my own mother's womb when I was being born. And, you know, my dad was a Latin professor at the University of Wisconsin, so, you know, boom. However, getting walked up to on the street and told, "Oh, I'm found," it gets a little old. Once you hit the big time, it's pretty intoxicating, not gonna lie. Going out clubbing every night, you know, hitting the parties with, you know, huge names, Topher Grace, you know, the entire cast of How I Met Your Mother one time got drunk in a limousine and then woke up the next morning passed out with goats, chickens, and all sorts of wildlife in our hotel room. I used to be invited to George Clooney's villa parties in Italy. I'm talking hitting up tea in the Kremlin with the Russian prime ministers, okay? It's just out there. I own 7 different houses, 2 of which had to be sold because I have tax problems. Total other story. I still own the world's last DeLorean, and I will occasionally take it out and drive it at 88 miles an hour. It's pretty awesome. I have numbers like you would not believe. Going out every Friday night, hitting up the clubs, macking on the chicks.
Get crazy, get wild, let's party, get loud. If you wanna have fun to do something, if you wanna have fun to do something.
A lot of people say that marijuana is a gateway drug. I don't look at it like that. Around 93, I got into cocaine big time, and that I felt was the gateway drug more than anything. From cocaine, I went to, dropping acid with Rob Thomas. I don't remember large chunks of the entire year of 1993. From April to August, complete blackout haze. And from there, it only got worse. It started affecting my hiding. One time I was found in a record 12 seconds only because I passed out at the starting gate of the hiding competitions. It was bad. There was long strings of just copious amounts of drugs, partying. I got into a huge amount of debt. I had 3 kids over the course of that 7-year period I like to call the lost years, none of which I retained custody of. I was it got so bad that at one point Charlie Sheen sat me down to have an intervention, and when that happens, I felt it was time to get my life straightened out. I think the real low point was being banned from the circuit, the U.S. circuit, for taking performance-enhancing drugs. And I know performance-enhancing drugs don't seem like a big deal, but when you try and imitate the formula from the Kevin Bacon movie Hollow Man, that's frowned upon. Around 2006, I tried to make my first comeback. I hid underneath a manhole cover, and shortly after popping out, was hit by a bus. That derailed my comeback a little bit. I've learned from this incident, and I've decided to follow my dream and my passion, and I'm gonna open up an interior decorating business. Part of my studies when I learned hiding from the ninjas in Japan was feng shui. It's the organizing a room so that the spirits and the chakras are all in a line, and I'm going to use that feng shui Waldo style interior decorating, and I'm going to be all right. What are the greatest moments I've ever had as a hider? Moment number 1, hiding in the back seat of a fighter jet shortly after takeoff, jumping out and yelling, "Boo." You ever see a fighter pilot shit his pants? Number 2, hiding behind the curtains in the Oval Office during the Clinton presidency. I never actually popped out, but I was used as a witness. Twice. And the number 1 hiding moment ever, Roswell made the entire thing disappear with me. But yeah, no, last name Waldo, first name Wares.